Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US tech stocks, and starting with the SP 500 here, we're looking at wave 4 being in place here. And there is a possibility still that we could view this as an ABC pattern to the upside here and have wave 4 come down into this particular space here. That's a possibility, but it's not quite the bias that I'm seeing with stocks at the moment. So we're going to be looking to the upside. So we've had 5 waves here, so we look to go long in here. We'll have a look at that on the intraday, and now we can call this here 1 and 2 coming into play across here, and we'll look to add to that. So from 20k to 1000 ticks here, this wave 1 here that we'd been counting up to get confirmation that we'd be going higher, then looking for an A and a B, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the C wave as wave 2, looking for an entry on the first impulse wave here, and we'll also look to add here. We'll talk about more of that in the indices video. So yeah, looking good to the upside for the S&P there. This is just the SPY here, exactly the same pattern. We'll talk more about that in the indices. So we come over to the NASDAQ here, and the same pattern with wave 4 here and wave 1 and ABC for wave 2 here, going long after the first impulse wave. Now we have 5 waves to the upside, so we'll be looking just roughly pulling back into the second consolidation area here. That would be the absolute lowest at this point, and then we'll look to move to the upside. So we'll also look to build in some trades over this side as well, depending on how far this pulls back and so on. So yeah, looking good actually. And then we come over to Apple. So Apple, we've got 2 pathways for this. So first of all, we have wave 1 up here with an A and a B and a C wave. We're trying to find the low here. So this is one possible pathway where we have 1 and 2 and 1, 2 and 3 and A, B, C for 4 here and down for 5 for the third. Some sort of fourth wave here, maybe simple, maybe complex, and then wave 5 to the downside. So that's one pathway. The other pathway here on the daily chart is calling the low in here already here on this. So looking at this here as wave 1 with an A and a B and a C wave here, and really jamming into wave 3 here. So it's possible. We'll look just looking in both ways, and if this is correct, we'll be looking for 5 waves up here. But even as a corrective wave to the upside here as a wave 4, we could end up seeing an ABC pattern here to the upside, an A and a B and a C rather than this. But we decided to move in anyway, so let's go in and manage what we have at this stage. So from this current low being either wave 5 or wave 3 here, we're looking at the first impulse wave to the upside. Here we had a part position here because it was high risk. I'm going to leave the stop where it is for the moment, but we do have a nice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here, so we'll be looking for the ABC. So we want to bring this down here a little bit further. If we do get this move down here, let's just assume that for a moment, then we'll put this entry here on top of that B wave here. Okay, so we're going to bring it down from here to here. So I will leave you with that to handle that situation. And what we're also, yeah, I'll just leave that. I won't complicate that any more than I need to. Come to Amazon as wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C for the A wave, the B wave, the C wave. We decided to go long here because anything above this particular point in here would be above the 38.2% retracement level for a wave 4 of this blue wave 4 here. So we have to run with the wolves. So in this case here, we're looking at 1 going up, 2 here, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think there's a little bit more to play out here before we get this wave 2 to come into play here and pushing up. So I don't know where that low exactly going to be just yet, but we're just going to allow it to play out, and we'll also look to add to this over here when the time comes. So we'll build in at this point. So that's Amazon, and we come over to NVIDIA. This correction has been a little bit long with wave 3 over here, an A and a B, and then all the way down here for this low here. And been building in here as I had this as blue wave 1 last time we spoke, so if it looks a little bit different, that's why. And blue wave 2, so I've just upgraded them from minute to minor. And then we're looking, our entry here is going well, so we're looking at 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5. So I think we get a little 4 and 5 up here. I'm not too sort of fussed about this. Our next entry will be around this wave 2 zone here, or a classic trading levels pattern at the medium level here. in due course here. So we'll just wait to see what pattern occurs there, but we don't want to go long here again just yet, because we'll just turn green and we'll turn red. So we'll get our timing a little bit more perfect than that. So we come to Meta Platforms here, and once again, we could have the low in here. I can't see everything in this gap here. But this here, if I looked at this as 1 and 2 here and 3 here, the wave 4 here, that's the 38.2% retracement level. As long as it stays under the 450, then I'll call it wave 4. But if it pops its head up onto the 450 and creates that first high above the level just here, then we're going to put an entry on top of that. And we'll see if we'll get clicked in. Otherwise, we'll see a move down here. But that's where we are here. I don't think it's too far behind. It probably will push up from there, but we need our trade set up to manage our risk. And then we come over to the flicks and wave 3 here with an A and a B and a C for wave 4. And we're looking at this as wave 1 with wave 2 here. And we've got a little 5 waves in here. So I think we talked about this going long above there. So we'll just see how that plays out. It's all a little bit dodgy, this one, I have to say. It doesn't seem to, the wind has been taken out of its sails. I can see that in the patterns, but we'll just see how it progresses. And this 65 here, 565, is the lower end of minor group 2 in here. So developing support in here is one way to view strength in the market. Okay, over to Google here. We've got one position here. I've moved the stop up into 154 area here, and we're being triggered in again here, so we just stay on track with this count. So yeah, once again, I can't see inside of this particular jump here, but we'll just, for the time being, we'll just assume that it's 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and then 5 coming up here, and then some sort of ABC pattern staying within group 2 before pushing higher here. I've removed the target of 200 and I've just put it up to 300 for the time being, and we'll just see how it progresses at this stage. But yeah, this is where we are. So we'll look to add to this again around this wave 2 low here. Then we come over to Microsoft, and yeah, so we're looking at wave 3 here, the same as the others. Wave 4 here, we've got triggered in here. Don't really have the impulse wave here. We've got this as 1, 2, 3 here, probably 4 and 5. We need that to play out. The stochastics is pulling back nicely, so it's probably, we could assume that we'll get that wave 5, but for wave 1 and 2. And if that's the case, then we'll also look to build in this again over here somewhere, because we really want to try and build in through group 1 here, 10, 20 and 30 in these positions here. So yeah, we want that impulse wave there, because then it proves that we've got more to the upside here. The only other negative thing here is I possibly, on the downside, I could look at this as 5 waves, as the A wave, a B wave here, and a C wave to finish here and then come down. So there is risk in the markets at this point, because we know wave 4s can get pretty ugly, but that's where we are at the moment with that. Now we come over to Tesla, and we started to see impulse waves off these lows here, so we're running with that, and we're looking at this as 1 and 2, and a little 5 waves here for 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 for the 3rd, the 4th and the 5th up here. So we'll look for an ABC here. It may even be sort of finished at this point, so we could even move in again on top of this one here. And once again, you can see that we're in group 2 here, 65, 72 and 80. So it's looking good. I'm not going to move the stop just yet in case we get a deep wave 2 in here that we'll need to accommodate. So we'll just see how we move with this here. But I have to say, you could probably count this impulse wave in another way as well. I can see that, but whichever way, it's more impulsive to the upside, which gives us the direction rather than a corrective pattern. So looking positive for Tesla at this stage. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.